What does the future hold for Kenzo Goudmijn? Now, Kenzo was a player who Derby County signed for around £600,000 in the summer of 2024. Now, obviously his first season started off very, very well, but didn't end up going to plan and ended up falling out of the team and ultimately falling out of favour with new manager John Eustace. Now, I still believe that there's a player in Kenzo Goudmijn and one who can have a huge impact on Derby County, but ultimately that is going to come from giving him the opportunity to play football. He has been sent on loan to Go Ahead Eagles, but will he be returning? I do think he will return to Derby County in the summer, and I think there's potentially an opportunity that he could return in January, but it's one of those situations where I think it all depends on the way we're playing, whether he succeeds or not at Derby County, because I think if you go back to how we tried to start the season, I don't think he works. If you look at how we're playing right now, I don't know where he fits. I don't know. Derby County would have to change a lot in order for Kenzo Goudmijn to fit the squad. I think he could play the Bobby Clark role that Bobby Clark is playing right now, but ultimately he's never been given the opportunity to. Now, you can let me know your thoughts down below. If you haven't done so already, hit like, hit subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. But let's get into it. Now, he's gone to Go Ahead Eagles over in the Eredivisie, and from what I'm aware, he's doing fairly well, and I think what we have to talk about in regards to that move to Go Ahead Eagles is it sent him back home, let's say, and it put him in a position where he can go and see his family, he can go and see friends, and at 23 years old, he made a huge move over to the UK to join Derby County, and I don't know, it didn't quite go to plan. I think last season, 40-something games, 2 goals, 2 assists, which was brilliant for the start of the season. I don't think he scored after Christmas. I don't think he had a goal involvement after Christmas, but ultimately his minutes were very low as well. And across the course of this season for Derby as well, he'd only played like 100 or so minutes, maybe 200 minutes before he went out on loan, despite playing every single minute of pre-season. And that's sort of where my problem arises, is he's not really had the opportunity under John Eustace. Now, John Eustace came in after Oxford. Kenzo played 23 minutes against QPR and was probably our best player. Played 66 minutes against Millwall, had a decent afternoon, and then had maybe 2 starts after that, maybe 3. I might even be wrong on that, to be honest with you. Actually, I don't think he actually made another start under John Eustace until pre-season, which is obviously disappointing. But it's one of those for me where we've got to look at what could happen with Kenzo. Now, his market value right now stands at around £1.4 million. His contract doesn't end until the summer of 2028. And he can play a range of different positions. He can play in central midfield, he can play on the left, as a 10, and on the right. And I think that's sort of what the problem is for Derby County and for John Eustace, because as much as Kenzo Goudmijn does have quality, it's quite clear to see that there's quality with Kenzo, because you can see it when he touches the ball. When he's got the ball at his feet, he looks amazing. You look at the goal he scored. I think it was against Cardiff last season with the back flick sort of thing, whatever you want to call it. It was really nice, and he made some really good crosses, put in some really good opportunities, and realistically for me, I felt like he'd earned an opportunity this season by his performances early doors. Now, I ultimately think that he was probably the victim of Derby County not really knowing how to start the season, and that meant that because we weren't really playing very well, he didn't really get the opportunity to sort of prove himself long term, which obviously then led to him being sent out on loan, and sort of led to the position we're in now, where Derby County only have 2 fit central midfielders, maybe 3 if you count Thompson, who's not played in months. So we're in a position where Derby County could probably do with a Kenzo Goudmijn, but we just don't have him. And do I think that there's an opportunity for him to return to the club? I certainly do. I don't know if there's a recall clause in his contract that is obviously the loan deal to Go Ahead Eagles, but he had a good appearance against, I think it was Aston Villa in, I think it's the Europa League that he's in. He's had some good appearances in the Eredivisie as well, and he seems to be getting back to himself. Now, I think the big thing for Kenzo is that positioning. Now, He's not a sitting midfielder like an Ebel Adams or a David Ozo. He's more of a deep playing playmaker where he's not really going to break up the play and make those huge tackles, but he is going to get the ball and get it to your wide players and try and create those opportunities. But until he does that, sort of long term, I don't know. He's got to do it consistently, and he's got to get that opportunity to do it consistently. And he's not done it at Derby, and he's not necessarily creating a great deal at Go Ahead Eagles either, to be quite honest. And that's, I don't know, it's a big problem because I really like Kenzo. I like the way he plays. I like the type of player that he is. But statistically, he doesn't really show himself. Now, one thing that will probably... one thing that might surprise you is if you look at his Eredivisie numbers. If you look at his Eredivisie numbers, they're not horrific. They're not the greatest, don't get me wrong, but they're not horrific. He's only been dispossessed 11 times. He's got 10 touches in the opposition box. I just don't think he's that bad. In terms of successful passes and long balls, he's in one of the highest percentages for the Eredivisie. He's quite high in terms of aerial duels and blocked shots and stuff like that. And I just think that we just didn't really give him the opportunity to shine in a position that he can really thrive in. I thought he was excellent early doors when he was given that freedom in midfield in front of Ebel Adams and David Ozo, but ultimately he never really got that opportunity again, and he never got that opportunity under John Eustace because Ebel Adams was playing as the number 10 and Kenzo was playing as your deep midfielder next to Ozo. And I just think there's many things that Derby County did wrong during the summer, and this is one of them for me, that John Eustace just didn't give him the chance to play as the number 10 or even as a number 8 in a 3 with Ozo one side, Adams the other, and you give him that more freedom to run. And I don't know, I just miss players being given the opportunity. I'm not saying that he has to be given an opportunity or anything like that. At the end of the day, John Eustace knows what he's doing. With 5 wins on the spin, we're in a really good position right now. He was sent on loan for a reason, whether it be because he didn't impress in training or because he was homesick or whatever, we will never really know. But I just think Kenzo deserved a shot. Now, he does have a long contract with Derby County. Is he going to be at Derby County long term? As it stands right now, I'd say no, because at the end of the day, he's out on loan. He's not in the squad right now, which means John Eustace wasn't sure what to do with him. So, in my personal opinion, I would probably anticipate that that Kenzo probably won't be a Derby County player this time next year. But we will wait and see. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts on Kenzo Goudmijn down in the comments. I know he splits a lot of opinion, but I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.